Hello, everyone. Hello. I'm Sheldon Bartlett Rumor, and this is it. Welcome back to This Is It TV. A little tardy today, but it was worth it because I had a bunch of stuff that I had got going on. I apologize to all of you. It's worth it that I'm here, not worth it that I was tardy. I hope all of you are doing well. Happy Thursday to all of you. This is episode 151. I have our morning message. I'm Sheldon Bartlett Rumor, CEO and executive producer of This Is It Network. This Is It Network connects remarkable women to inspiring stories. We do it each and every day through our community, our content, and our real connections. I'm spoiled that I get to hang out with all of you all of the time. Excited about getting a ton of stuff done, moving forward in a lot of different ways. This morning message today, hello everyone, how are you? Don't forget to say hello. There's nothing more powerful than being seen and being heard, and I want to see and hear you. So please say hello to me for sure. Today's about judgment, and again, a lot of this has to do with the way in which you feel about yourself and the judgment that you put on yourself. The majority of us are harder on ourselves than on anyone else. Hello, Chris. How are you, darling? Hello, Donna. How are you? Good to see you all. Good to see you all. We are hard on ourselves. The judgment that I'm talking about, not only is it to avoid the judging other people, mind your business, but it's really about the judgment that you have for yourself. The judgment and the standards that you hold yourself to in which paralyze you from moving forward. The criticizing voice that you have about yourself, about what it is that you are doing, that holds you in judge and jury of everything that you are doing, in which, truly imprisons you in it. And what I want us to do is not only look at what it is that we are doing, but look at how it is that we are saying what we are saying to ourselves. Because oftentimes it isn't even what we say when we part our lips. It's what we're thinking about ourselves, the judgment that we are providing on what it is that we are doing is keeping us from moving forward. The critical nature in which we look at our jobs and look at our operations and look at what it is that we are building that keeps us from sharing it with other people. It keeps us from telling other people what we've got going on. We judge ourselves before others have the opportunity to do so. And I understand that about being precautious. I understand about being perfectionists. And a lot of us out there, I see you, want everything to be perfect, want everything to go a certain type of way, or look a certain type of way, and be a certain type of way before you share it with the world. But what that does is that it keeps your skills, your skill set, your passion, your resources from those who need it. It keeps it from them because you're worried about tweaking it for the 19th time. You're worried about evaluating it in a way in which only you can see. Right? How many of us? The example that I always use is planning a wedding. I had a gigantic wedding, huge, as you could probably imagine. There were 400 people in attendance, which is kind of a gross thing. But I come from a big West African family, and in a West African family, you send the invitation, but physically whoever happens to be in the house at the time in which the invitation arrives is invited to the wedding. That's how I took it. I didn't really understand. My mother's like, no, they can all come. I said, Mom, we didn't have them on the list. She's like, what? We don't tell people no. This is a party. This is a celebration, she would say. And as I was planning this monstrosity of a ceremony, I was fixated in the details. I was fixated by napkins and fonts and things that were in such a huge space for me. I was fixated in all of the tiny things that had to go into this wedding. I was fixated in the petals of the flowers and the petals and what it is and how it is that the cake looked and where the cake was placed and where people were. I was fixated in all of these small things. And this monstrosity of a wonderful wedding was wonderful and went well. And everything happened the way that it needed to happen. And it was a wonderful, wonderful party. And the little things that I hemmed and hawed over, the little things that were an issue, the little things that I could not get myself to get over, no one noticed. The little things that I was fixated on, no one noticed because they were there for something bigger. My point in that story, that long-winded pat on the back, big celebration story, was only to say it is about the bigger picture and not the smaller things in which you hold judgment for yourself, and about what it is that you're doing. It is about the bigger picture of what it is that you offer. It is about the mission in which you have, not the minutia of what it is that you are doing. It is about the larger picture of what you bring to the table as opposed to the smaller things. Now, I want you to be honest with what it is that you're doing. I want you to be honest with what it is that you've got going on and to say, are you moving it forward? Are you creating something that's going to move lives? Are you creating something that's going to be beneficial to people? For sure. But in order to do that, you have to create something. Right? The party was going to happen whether the napkins were perfect or not. The deposits were set and things were in place. Whether the air conditioning, which did not work in the church when we got there, where all of these people were sweating on top of each other, I could have been fixated and broken down based on that not going well. Or I could have moved forward in the celebration of things. So today I'm asking you to celebrate where it is that you are and what it is that you are doing. I'm asking you to find that space to celebrate what it is that you have built and release yourself from the minutia of things. Release yourself from feeling as if everything has to be perfect in that perfect space at that perfect time. And if you are holding all this judgment on yourself and how you navigate yourself through what it is that you're doing, you are holding yourself back from where it is you're supposed to be. The judgment is distracting. It is paralyzing in some cases. Everything must be perfect. We are worried about people who will never purchase our product, liking our product, enjoying our product, feeling as if we are worthy when they would never be customers in the first place. We are distracted by the judgment that we have on ourselves and the judgment of others who do not matter, at least in this particular space. So what I want for all of you is I want for you to feel as if the judgment that you're putting on yourself is something that can be put down, something that you don't need, something that does not serve you, something that won't only hold you back and not move you forward. And we can talk and address the judgment that other people have on you, but we can't control that. I can't control whether or not somebody likes This Is It Network or somebody wants to scream their dream. I can't control that. But what I can control is how I show up for my community, how I scream my dream, and how I encourage other people to do the same. And though I might not be perfect, and though I might not always have it work out, and though I might not necessarily even spell everything right? I have to be able to show up for myself. Donna and Lisa, you hear me? Show up for myself. So it's a space where I'm moving forward and I leave that judgment behind. That I'm kind to myself. Because we are outnumbered by people who do not aspire to do any of these things. We are outnumbered by people who do not wake up and create a morning message, that aren't caterers, that aren't trying to build leaders, that aren't trying to create empires. Right, Karen? We are in that space where we are outnumbered by people who don't want to do it, but we feel as if everybody is in our space. They're not in our space. We are outnumbered. All our job is to do is to show up, is to leave that judgment behind, right, Karen? Is to leave it behind and be able to move forward, to cut ourselves a break. Because it isn't perfection that wins. It isn't the smartest person in the room that wins. It isn't even the most talented person that wins. It's the person that shows up continuously, consistently. So I ask you, in the judgment of things, as you judge yourself into a paralyzed state, release it. Release the email, literally. Release the product, literally. The course, whatever. Release it. See. Let us tell you your community if we like it, if we want to follow, fan, and like you. But we don't know what you're offering because you are holding yourself in judgment in a paralyzed way that keeps you from moving forward. It keeps you from using your voice, from telling your story. It keeps you from receiving what it is that you deserve. And I'm tired of judging myself. I'm tired of preparing for characteristics and statistics in which I don't even know what the answers are. I'm tired of it. It's going, it's coming. I'm releasing all of that. And I suggest you do the same. I suggest you release the judgment. I suggest you're in a space where you can feel confident that you are going to make mistakes. I've used this analogy so many times. I was a sprinter in college and high school, and I was very, very fast. And people told me, Sheldon, you should jump the hurdles. You should run the hurdles. And I would be like, why in the world would I run with things in my way? Why would I opt in to run with things in my way? Why would I choose to run the hurdles? And then only to become an entrepreneur in which I have literally elected to jump the hurdle. I have said I am running the hurdles, and it is called owning my own business. I have chosen a race in which ultimately has hurdles around every single bend. And I am saying, if you judge yourself before you leap, you will fall down. If you judge yourself before you move forward, you will never move forward. The voices in our heads are way too loud. They're way too big, and they can completely silence any positivity that we come in contact with. The judgment that we have for ourselves, is oftentimes worse than whatever anyone could send our way. So today is not about focusing on the judgment of others because we cannot control them. We've all tried. It's about focusing on what and how you judge yourself, the forgiveness that you have for yourself, the leeway that you give yourself to try and fail, to jump and fall, and allowing for that judgment to be released so you can in fact try, so you can in fact do, so all of us can receive all of the talent in which you have to offer. I need you to do that today. The judgment that you are carrying, the load that you are bearing, I need you to let it go and put it down and be prepared to do the work. Because I'm waiting for it. Because your community is waiting for it. Because people out there want to follow, fan, and like you. People out there want to receive what it is that you are creating only if you leave the judgment alone and be brave enough to share it. I know that it's hard. I know that it's difficult. I know that we judge ourselves more than we judge others, and we listen to the judgment of ourselves even more so than the hateful judgment of other people. But the combination between the two, what we feel about ourselves, what we know, what we try to pretend that is true, and what other people are saying, keep us from moving forward, keep us from jumping that hurdle. And I will not have it. At least today, the morning message is for you to release the judgment. Stop judging yourself in a way that keeps you from moving forward. Evaluate what you're building, right? Assess what you're doing. But we're not going to hold ourselves in judgment and jury. We're not going to do that to ourselves because that imprisons us literally. And that keeps everyone else from receiving the talent that we've been provided, the skills in which we have, the features and benefits in which we offer. So we're going to leave the judgment alone. And you're going to show up for yourself today and every day. My goal is for all of you to find your voice, for you to tell your story, for you to no longer whisper your wishes, but to in fact scream your dream. This Is It Network is a global digital TV network connecting remarkable women to inspiring stories. We do that through our growing community, our engaging content, and our real connections. I'm Sheldon Barlett-Rumer, and this is it. For more information, log on to thisisItTV.com and follow, fan, and like us everywhere you find at This Is It TV. I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye-bye.